Now, becoming a consistent shooter, you're going to have to develop how you're holding your bow and then developing your anchor point. Once you find your anchor point system, keep with it. So what I like to do first when I'm holding the bow, I like to make a circle with my pointer finger and thumb. That's to be right on the top. Basically, I'm going to let that bow float. I'm not going to have a bunch of pressure with the heel of my hand because you don't want it kicking out like that. You just want that bow to float. Then the next thing, what I do with my anchor point, I'm shooting a older style release. It's not like the modern hot thumb button release. But what I'm doing is I'm pointing out like your trigger finger, your fake gun, and I'm tucking that underneath my jaw there. And then when I'm drawing back, I'm putting that nock right here in the corner of my mouth. And then I'm going to touch my nose on the string here. That way I got 3 points of contact to make sure that I'm on my anchor point. Because if you have more, or if you only have one or two, I mean, you could be leaning side to side, left and right. It's just more consistent. And it's something that, like, say you have that target buck come in and you're nervous, you're going to have this mental checklist in the back of your head. Hey, this is what I got to do with my anchor point. How am I holding that bow? That way I'm not kicking it out and getting a wobbly arrow out of it. And the biggest thing too, don't go drawing up to the sky like this. Smooth draw. Use that riser, that bow to break your profile, especially if you're in like a tree stand or even more importantly on the ground if you're dealing with less cover. And what helps for me too, even if I'm shooting in the yard, make it seem realistic. Almost put yourself in that position. Like, alright, here he comes from the right. His head's right behind a tree. Smooth draw. Make sure that your anchor point's true, that you're not gripping that bow too tight. And then just letting that pin find the target, and once you're on it, let it go and don't peek. This is my first time shooting since the archery season. I know I'm not shooting that far right now, but I'm just making sure that I've got my mechanics down. Because if you don't have good mechanics and you're trying to pull off distance shots, if your mechanics aren't sound, the further and further you shoot, the sloppier your groups are going to get. So if you just pound arrows at 10 yards, make sure your system's on, then you can start working further and further back. And then if your groups start getting sloppy, say you're out to 30, 40, I'm not shooting at a whitetail in Michigan further than 40 yards, but I mean, if you're going out elk hunting or hunting plains, whitetail or something, and you gotta make a 50, 60 yard shot, I mean, your mechanics got to be sound if you're dealing with distance like that. So, get your bow out of your case, knock the dust off your arrows, and start working back on your mechanics. Don't go waiting until August or September when a lot of other guys like to wait because they were too busy doing this and doing that in the off season, and then they're thinking, oh man, archery opener's right around the corner. I haven't shot my stuff. Better go to the archery shop. Well, you're gonna get greeted with long lines of people that were waiting around. So get your stuff out now. Join an archery league, do some events. Just have fun. So get out there, work on those mechanics, make sure you're not torquing that bow, jaw into the sky. Just work on all the little things. That way, then when the moment of truth comes, this archery season, you're not going to be second guessing yourself on what went wrong. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up, share it with a buddy. Until next time, on the Report. See ya. Join an archery league, not a golf league. They'll put meat in your freezer.